I'm here with Arbel Shemish of Fire Mountain Gems and Beads. And you know, Arbel, today's show is all about geometrics. And of course, nothing's hotter than circles. But you've brought in a really interesting necklace that we're going to work on using some cool materials and clay, too.
Yes, we're going to put together polymer clay, laser lace, and pigment powders.
Now, what is laser lace exactly?
Well, laser lace is a strong, flexible metal. You see, you can mold it into shapes. Very versatile. And we have some other shapes for you to look at over here. These are all the different styles that are available.
That's right. They come in all different finishes, too. You get the golden finish and the silver finish. So
what we're going to do first is condition the clay. This part is very important. You're going to use 2 hands to cut your block of clay. Once you've, and it's a 3-ounce block of clay, you put 1 piece aside. And you want to use some kind of rolling device, a roller, to roll this flat so it fits through your pasta machine.
Okay.
Now, important thing to know about this is if your clay is coming through your pasta machine and it's really dry, you want to add liquid polymer clay. It's just the same as this, except liquid,
so
and you just
makes it a little bit more moist and again, doesn't dry it out.
Exactly, because for the laser lace to embed correctly into the clay, it needs to be a little tacky and a little soft. Now, if it gets too soft, you know, you put too much of this stuff in. What you do is you put it into the refrigerator for a couple minutes and it becomes more solid again.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Yes, it works well that way. Now we have to prepare our laser lace pieces. And you can see that these pieces have loops on the top. Now, for some purposes, this might be really good, but for our purposes, we're going to snip the tops off like this. And now we're going to use a file to file this flat.
So that you don't have a jagged edge at all.
Yes. You don't want any jagged edges. That's right. So now you have 2 pieces that look like this. And what I've done here is I've divided them into links. This is going to make 1 link, and this is going to make another link. The spirals are going to go in the back, and the disc here is going to go in the front. What you want to do now is just use the disc as your guide and just cut along. Just like this, just like a template. And you have it placed on a hard surface there. Is that just like a marble surface? I'm working on a tile. On a tile? You just need something that you can cut into, basically. You can use a piece of
not your
glass
kitchen table.
Or no, not your kitchen table, unless you don't mind marring it, yes. Yes. So what I've done here is this is going to be my back and this is going to be my front. So what I've done is I've embedded 2 silver jump rings, and you can see I've done them kind of like Mickey Mouse ears. They're offset, they're not straight across from each other, because if you put them straight across from each other, they're going to flip. The links are going to flip. And which end of the jump ring goes where? Do you put the opening at the top, or? Well, I like to put the opening inside, because once this is closed together, once the 2 pieces are together and baked, this ring is never coming out. And if you have the closed end in, then it's a closed jump ring. Gotcha. Yes. Gotcha. Okay. So now I'm putting this disc on top, and what I've done is I've offset it a little. So if you keep offsetting the discs in different directions, it's going to give you a more interesting kind of geometric pattern as the necklace is going around. Yes. So now we're going to go to our next step. Okay, I got these.
So now you've joined them together, so it's like a sandwich. It's like a
exactly. You're kind of making like a Oreo cookie or a sandwich or something like that, right? So now it's time to embed the laser lace into the clay, and on this spiral, there's a track that runs along the arm here, and what you do is you just press into the track like this. And you're just using a toothpick or something? I'm using the pointy end of a toothpick, following along in this track, and once the clay bubbles up, what I do is I come and I gently tap this down so that the clay comes up over the laser lace and then it locks back down. Gotcha. So it kind of holds it in place. Yes, and then on this one, what I do is I like to use my fingernails and just keep pushing on the metal, and the clay will bubble up through all the little holes. Okay? But if you don't have fingernails, use the flat end of two toothpicks.
Do you do that on both sides?
No, I'm just really ignoring the back for now.
So that's
I'm
just going to be the back of your necklace. Okay,
yes.
Gotcha.
So what you want to do now is press this chaton-style crystal into it, because you don't want just this big old circle. I like to have something in the middle of it. It makes it even more geometric.
That's right.
So what I do is I use the flat end of the toothpick and I just gently press the crystal in until the clay bubbles up over it and I feel like it's really secured in. You can see it just stays there like this. It's the easiest way of setting a stone yet.
That's right.
So once you're done with this stage, what you want to do is you want to cut along the, using the disc as a template. So you're cutting off the excess clay that's squeezed out. And that's going to get rid of the line between the two as well.
Excellent.
Now you're going to have something that looks like this, and you can come along and use your finger to smooth this further. Right.
Now's the fun part.
Yes. Now we get to play with the powders.
Okay.
And there's many, many colors of these powders. You can use a soft brush. I like to just get my fingers right in there. So I pick up some and then I just put it onto the clay, and you see how it just comes alive.
And what is that exactly?
The pigment powders.
Pigment powder. Okay.
Yes, they're like metallic pigment powders.
And they come in so many different colors.
Yes, and they embed right into the clay, and you can keep adding to it. And you can add, you know, maybe a different color on the other side. You can also just keep putting different color pigments on top of each other, and they create different effects. And you just keep burnishing it in.
And then what do you do after you've gotten that all in, all the colors that you want?
Well, once you've gotten your colors in, and you can see it kind of colors all the, you know, the clay through the holes, like this. Once you've gotten your color in, what you want to do is bake the clay. Okay, and just follow the manufacturer's instructions for that.
Okay.
And once your clay pieces are baked, you want to look at the edges here and see if you have any spaces still between the laser lace and the clay.
Just file it down.
Well, actually, what you're going to do, what you can do, is you can add some liquid polymer to it to give it an extra bond there.
Gotcha.
And just put it back, you know, cook it a little bit more.
That's a very good
So it's really
tip.
secure. Once you have your pieces,
you just start attaching it.
Yeah, you use jump rings and 2 chain nose pliers. Just open up your ring sideways and attach all your links in whatever pattern is pleasing to you.
And it's a great necklace,
Yes.
and your clasp too. Let's take a look at the finished project to see how gorgeous that is, and look at all the colors that you used and the varieties. And then also, you have one where you actually used different color clay too, correct? You can start with different colors, and you can see you can make them in the belts, and there's all these different ways that you can also use just the laser lace on their own.
Exactly.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Arbel.
Thank you, Katina.